Jeremiah 5:11, for the house of Israel and the house of Judah have dealt very treacherously against me, saith the Lord. They have belied the Lord and said, it is not he. Neither shall evil come upon us, neither shall we see sword nor famine. Hey, Shalom, Shalom Israel. Call Haloyam La Yahal Ba'Hashem Yahushai Ba'Hashem Rachak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, salutations, and blessings to the elect, pushing the word across the four corners of earth, risking your life to do so. Right? And showing love to the elect worldwide by continuing in the faith. Right? Showing your faith through works. Right? Because that's a primary part. But it was just that fast that they were going to lock down Chicago. All right, which if they were going to do it here, you know they were going to do it to all the other major cities as well. And this is going to be like the first point, but it's not time for that in the plan. And here it is, you still got our people walking around in La La Land, fairy tale place, as if the shit wasn't finna go down. Which people don't understand what it means when the military comes somewhere. They're not just gonna be chilling at the base nearby. That means they're gonna have checkpoints in certain neighborhood, whatever the government assigns them to do. All right, checkpoints in certain neighborhoods. There's already a law where, with the so-called Northern Kingdom, because really we're one kingdom, but the so-called Northern Kingdom, they can pull them over based on their appearance, their race, right? Which they've been doing that to so-called black people for years. But that was a wake-up call. That was a so-called wake-up call. Excuse me. Why would you put an airfield in the middle of a neighborhood? That's it. So anyway, verse 12, they have belied the Lord and said, it is not he, neither shall evil come upon us, neither shall we see sword nor famine. And both of those things are promised. See, if they put the military down, like I said, it's going to be checkpoints. And then in those checkpoints, they're going to try to target high, it's all going to be codified language, high risk areas. It's going to be stop and frisk. They come through, hey, what you got? You look like this person. Matter of fact, anybody who comes through here, they need to have this kind of identification, this level of ID. That's what you see a lot, when you go back to those future movies of the 80s, the 90s. What's it called? Equilibrium. It's another one. There's a bunch of them, but they always show that everything is militarized, it's locked down. You gotta crawl, you go through this point, and we already know what kind of ID you're gonna have to have. All right, they're gonna control the food supply, control certain things that, for whatever reason, this stuff is contaminated, and all these things are going to roll out at once. It's going to be part of one big plan, which is going to be overthrown. Right? And Esau has to do this as his last hurrah, because they're over with. They're done. Right? Sword, famine, plagues, pestilence, wild beasts, all the plagues of Egypt. It's going to be a lot. And the prophets shall become wind, and the word is not in them. Thus shall it be done unto them. Basically calling the prophets a windbag. Word like wind. He ain't saying shit. He ain't talking about shit. He's just talking. Hot air. And the word is not in them. Thus shall it be done unto them. See, that's going to happen to y'all. But that's not what the scriptures say. All right, see, this whole thing is a process for the elect. For purification, because as we see, the Lord has set many men up on the throne. And it tells you that Sirach 10 and 12, the beginning of pride is when one departs from the Most High, and his heart is turned away from his Maker. For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that has it shall pour out abomination, and therefore the Lord brought upon them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly. I see pride sets in, and you can't see what's in front of your face. I was reading this Jeremiah 52 about Zedekiah, and when you sit in that throne, which ultimately the elect is going to be perfect, but the lesson still has to be learned anyway. It says, he that is chief is honorable. I'm going to read this though, Jeremiah 52 and 1. Zedekiah was 21, he was 1 and 20 years old when he began to reign. And he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Hamutal, and the daughter of Jeremiah of Libnah. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the eyes of the Lord, according to all that Jehoiakim have done. You know, we know Jehoiakim was basically the throne was taken. Well, the next time we see somebody of the seed of David, I believe is Zerubbabel, and he's referred to as the governor. I believe the curse is put on him. Your seed shall not sit on the throne. But you have a lot of fools who take that for the line of David will be cut off. Wrong. If that's the case, then there's no Yahweh Shai. And it's already been proven that there is. It says, for through the anger of the Lord it came to pass in Jerusalem and Judah, till he had cast them out from his presence, that Zedekiah rebelled against the king of Babylon. And it came to pass in the 9th year of his reign, in the 10th month, in the 10th day of the month, that Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came, he and all his army, against Jerusalem, and pitched against it, and built forts against it round about. So the city was besieged unto the 11th year of King Zedekiah. And in the 4th month, in the 9th day of the month, the famine was sore in the city, so that there was no bread for the people of the land. Then the city was broken up, and all the men of war fled, and went forth out of the city by night, by the way of the gate between the two walls, which was by the king's garden. Now the Chaldeans were by the city round about, and they went by the way of the plain. But the army of the Chaldeans pursued after the king, and overtook Zedekiah in the plains of Jericho, and all his army was scattered from him. Then they took the king and carried him up unto the king of Babylon to Riblah in the land of Hamath, where he gave judgment unto them. And the king of Babylon slew the sons of Zedekiah before his eyes. He slew also all the princes of Judah in Riblah. Then he put out the eyes of Zedekiah, so he killed all his sons, right, and slew all the princes of Judah. Then he put out the eyes of Zedekiah, and the king of Babylon bound him in chains, and carried him to Babylon, and put him in prison till the day of his death. Now in the 5th month, in the 10th day of the month, which was the 9th year of Nebuchadnezzar, can you imagine that? He said he put out his eyes, bound him in chains, and carried him to Babylon, and put him in prison to the day of his death. Now he was only 21, so who knows how long he lived? Blind, in chains, in a fucking prison. You know, you gotta watch your armies get scattered, your mighty men get fucked up, your princes get killed, your sons. See, you know, everybody wants to sit on the throne, and everybody wants to be, you know, called a king, Reyes. Ray. But when you sit on that throne, there's a certain standard you have. And we're watching Esau sit on that throne because right now they're the kings of the earth and completely fuck it up in the most wicked, vilest ways possible. All right, an example of what not to do. And Sirach 10 is a good chapter. It talks about, matter of fact, I'll read a couple. Verse 1, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. And see, this place, there's no instruction. You just do what thou will. They put you in the school system. The school is trying to get, federal money for whatever the fuck, so they need certain test scores. So they're teaching you what's on the test. And then, the kids get a pizza party if they get the certain average, and the school gets funded. All right, verse 2, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man this ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. Right? You sit on that throne, you have to make wise moves, you have to make righteous moves. Right? Because however you rule, everybody's gonna copy you and follow you. Like up here in Chicago, these niggas give credence to Larry Hoover and all these other, wicked gang banging niggas. And what do you see? A city full of killers, murderers, gang bangers. They're all in the manner of the ruler. And a lot of those guys who were rulers were Masons, and they'll borrow stuff from the scriptures and then use it. Borrow stuff from Islam, just completely wicked. And that's what you have, a cesspool of mixed doctrine, and they'll say wisdom and knowledge and understanding, and then proceed not to follow any wisdom, knowledge, or understanding. Right? An unwise king destroys his people. See, you sit on that throne, you're not just responsible for self. If you start doing too much, your people are gonna be destroyed. See, Esau, his people are destroyed. He's destroying his own. He ain't good to his own people. But the Lord then kept him in position for a reason. They're being held up. They've been said the wicked are preserved for the day of judgment. It said, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. And this is all part of the lesson, the wisdom. All right, because if the Lord puts you over 10 cities, 5 cities, you're gonna rule within what the wisdom of the scriptures, what's written. And then you have to understand judgments. You have to understand mercy. Because we're gonna watch the heathen too. We're gonna watch them as well. And a lot of these heathens are slick. And that's what this is. As you walk in your journey in this truth, and knowing that you're an Israelite and all these different things, these different lessons. The scriptures say the Lord winketh for a time, but at a certain point, the same shit you did coming in, the Lord ain't gonna wink at no more. It's time to start, to do better without excuses. It's time to get rid of that old bullshit that you've been letting linger around because it feels good, or whatever reason you had, or you didn't know, or you pretended not to know, whatever it was. You shouldn't be still being drunk all day. You know, still not doing what you need to do. Still playing the same games you played as a young man. Right, this is a great honor that we receive in order for us to sit at the highest seat. That's why it says, Sirach 10:4, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. In due time is coming very shortly. But first, certain things got to go down. It's just got to happen that way. The Lord he got to show. He got to show himself, because you got a lot of scoffers, you got a lot of doubters, people who lost faith, people who never believed and need to be shown, right, around the world. That's why we're hastening that day, man. May the Lord continue with his judgments, because this is the time where the highest is visiting the earth. Call Loyam Laya Hawashim Awashai, Lord willing, is edifying.